Thank you for tuning in to another episode of InRange. Today we are bringing you Stage 1 of the World War I themed two-gun action challenge match.
Oh yeah.
Filming this in October because November next month is the 100th anniversary of the Armistice.
You are watching this at the 100th anniversary of the Armistice.
Yep, which is the end of the war to end all wars, which of course did not.
Oops.
So in stage, actually let's talk about it briefly. We have a video about the gear, but what are you using just in case the people didn't see it?
I'm using a live registered full auto 1915 pattern 8mm Shosha automatic rifle.
Which is period correct for the American Expeditionary Forces.
Absolutely. We went into World War I without any actual real quantity of machine guns, since we ended up buying them from the French.
And you've got semi and full on that gun.
Yes, I do.
And 20 round magazines.
Yep.
With mysterious holes cut in it so dirt can enter the gun.
So there is a reason for that.
Okay.
The holes are there so the assistant gunner sees when you run out of ammo and changes the mag for you.
And for dirt to get into the gun.
This was intended as a team weapon.
I understand.
So of course this is a two-gun, one-person match. So I don't have a team, I just have me.
Clearly I'm being a little...
Because you're on the wrong side, Fritz.
You know what? My buckle says God is with us, so that's completely incorrect. We are going to win.
Good luck with that.
The buckle says this. That must be correct. So
we were happy to not interfere with whatever nonsense you Europeans were doing for like 3 years. And then you had to go and use U-boats and start sinking passenger liners. Completely innocent Americans.
Is that how that works?
You guys are the devil in... We saw what you did in Belgium, and we're over here. And by the way, we've actually been able to eat for the last couple of years, unlike most of you guys.
That's because we know how to sacrifice and win a war.
We'll see about that. We are going to push you guys all the way back to Berlin. Yeah. And then we'll see what's what.
Maybe if you meddlers didn't come here, the world wouldn't change in the way it did afterwards. But that's a whole nother conversation, isn't it? And for a pistol, you're using a 1911.
Yeah.
So you really are, in terms of equipment, period correct.
Yeah.
Some of the gear is a little anachronistic to shoot a match, but it is what it is.
The sunglasses are almost period.
Well, those are legit.
They're 1919 post-war sunglasses.
Fair enough. And I've got a Gewehr 98, the backbone of the Imperial German Army, and a broom handle C96 Red 9.
All right.
Strip and clip fed. But stage 1. So stage 1 represents essentially a repelling of a surprise attack.
All right.
So in the beginning, you're actually relaxing behind the lines, sitting down at your resting area, rifle and handgun sitting to the side, and a grenade near you, because that's what are around in World War I. At the attack, you throw a grenade. If it gets into a specific conduit, which is downrange, you get to not neutralize 2 pepper popper targets. Okay. But with your pistol, you have to neutralize a plate rack into 2 pepper poppers unless you make the grenade toss.
Okay.
You ditch your handgun, you pick up your long arm, you go to the other bay, and you, from barrels, from offhand, you engage 3 targets with 2 hits each. Then you crawl under a wire barricade to a table, and from on top of the table, you hit each target with 2 hits each. Then you crawl under a wire barricade, and at the end, underneath a barricade, another 2 hits each on the target.
All right.
So let's see what happens. Brandon did his damnedest, and it also is not ultimately.
136.44.
Well done. Yeah, nothing bad can happen back here. Ah, shit!
They're all chasing after. Crazy. See this.
Get out of the way, bipod! No! Was that time?
Yeah.
Whew.
3 misses.
Well, that was less than optimal. They are heavily suppressed.
Impact. Impact.
So, Amerikaner, how was your first engagement at the Western Front?
A little disappointing.
Oh, okay. Tell me why.
Largely my pistol shooting.
Pistol shooting.
Like, I wasted all of the times on pistol.
The pistol, you know, we put those pistol targets out there, and we always set up difficult pistol targets with two-gun. Like, it's one of our things that's a little different. A lot of times you go to matches and the pistol stuff is kind of a gimme, and there are no gimmies here.
No.
So you didn't make the grenade toss.
Nope.
Okay.
Which sucked.
All
Neither
right.
did you.
No, I did not. Yeah.
Yeah, and then my pistol shooting was terrible. Once I got over to the rifle side of the bay, as we went through the three shooting positions, it would have gotten better and better for this thing.
Yeah, you were speeding up.
Because, well, the first one, you had to shoot offhand, because there was no support, and it required standing.
Yes.
So it's a heavy rifle shooting left-handed.
And it's
or right-handed.
And it's a violent action, too.
It is.
Yeah.
But that was what I was most worried about. I was pretty happy that I actually made those hits without too much trouble.
Yeah, you did.
And then I unloaded it because I was just sketchy about crawling through that tunnel with a live loaded open bolt machine gun. I'll just unload the thing.
I don't know how the safety works on the show shell. Do you? I mean, does it lock the bolt?
No,
It's only the trigger.
Yes, I believe.
Then
I don't. This gun's over 100 years old.
Yeah, it's fair.
Doesn't matter mechanically how it was originally set up. I'm not going to trust it in that situation.
Open bolt guns
Not
are
yet.
particularly spooky in certain
Yeah,
circumstances.
exactly.
Okay, that's fair. All right.
So reloaded it when I got to the second barricade. That's where I started having trouble. I actually ended up with a damaged magazine,
oh no.
which I believe is what was causing the ejection problems that I had.
Okay.
And of course, fragile magazines are the giant Achilles heel of this gun.
That was one of the things. Well, there's the open ingress path, but not only
Yeah.
that, the feed lips, right?
Yeah.
Because the gun itself is designed in a way that it's actually more effective than you guys think. You shoot the show shot with good mags in good conditions, the gun's quite
Yeah, it works.
effective.
I mean, it's the exact same operating system as the Browning Auto 5, which is a massive. I mean, there's no mechanically fundamental problem there.
Yep.
But the magazines and some of the ancillary stuff are definitely a problem. So, had I not wasted time, had I given up on the pistol targets, or hypothetically hit them,
Yeah.
I would have gotten, it was better on the barricade where I could rest the thing on it, and then it would have been better still under on the final one, prone off the bipod under the barricade. I think that would have been the nicest shooting spot, and the most realistic one for a gun like this.
Fair enough.
But I just didn't get to it.
But obviously we didn't design the match around the show shot. We designed it around a World War I theme.
Right, absolutely.
So in that regard, it's interesting. We saw a number of shooters here that are in the World War I theme with old World War I crickety pistols that are hard to use, and people are going to war on those targets. And there's a point at which you have to think, what's the penalty for the target versus just leaving it behind? One of the guys here is shooting some of the German guns. He goes, can I use Sturmtruppen tactics in which if I engage something that's too mighty a force, can I just go around it? I'm like, you mean leave targets behind? He's like, yeah. I'm like, of course you can leave targets behind.
Right.
So if something's taken you longer than the 10 seconds to engage it, I'm not saying you, just people in general.
No, I should have.
Leave it behind.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole bunch of targets hanging over there that you could have hit.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So for me, I didn't throw the grenade properly. I missed, and I had to use my wonderful C96 and stripper clip loaded on the clock. But that wasn't that bad, actually. I got fairly fast, and the plate rack went down well.
Reasonably well, yeah.
The long-range pepper poppers were harder. I was nervous about those, but lo and behold, I did get them with the Red 9. And then the rifle stuff was fine. I had one click no boom, which is something that's been going on with this one a little bit. I increased the spring pressure on it and did replace the firing pin, and it seemed to fix 99% of that. But I am using Yugoslavian 198 grain heavy ball, and those primers are thick and hard. And so this gun, once in a while, doesn't set it off. But you know what? By 1918, German munitions were probably a lot like that.
Yeah, I suspect so.
Probably a pretty good representation of what it would have been like with the thing. So I did okay. I finished it in like 136, I think.
Yeah.
136.77. So fun stage. Hopefully it represented what we're trying to represent, is that surprise attack. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the very first stage of the World War I theme. Stay tuned for stage 2, which is pretty epic.
I think stage 2 will be a fun one.
Especially for that gun, so stay tuned.